Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be doing another turbo mock. We just finished up the NFL Combine, so we have a lot of new insight. We hear a lot of buzz about certain players. We finally have all our measurables. We have the complete prospect profile now. We have a good picture as to what kind of players these guys are going to be once they get to the league. So we're going to be able to do a really good mock draft. Now, if you guys are brand new to the channel, we do turbo mocks here. So basically what I do is I only take about 10 to 20 seconds to explain each pick. That way you guys aren't sitting here for a half hour watching a mock draft. If you guys are interested in this kind of content, I suggest you hit the subscribe button down below, and let's get right into the turbo mock. First things first, like every single mock draft you're going to see, we're trying to get the Bears out of this first overall pick. For today's trade back, we're going to trade the Houston Texans right up to the first overall. To get this deal done today, we're going to trade the Houston's 102, the 112, and then a first round pick in next year's draft. I don't think this is accurate, but we don't really care. The details can be smoothed out later, but for the sake of the mock, we're just going to do this. And then with the first overall, the Houston Texans take their QB1 and Bryce Young. The Chicago Bears are on the clock with the second overall now. They just traded back. They got a bunch of first round picks. We're going to take Will Anderson because of the uncertainty with Jalen Carter right now. I think Will Anderson's the best defensive player in the draft regardless, but we're going to take a little break on Jalen Carter here in the top of the draft. The word this weekend was that the Panthers were going to be very aggressive trying to get a rookie quarterback on their roster. There's also been buzz about the Cardinals trying to trade back from the third overall. We're going to trade the Panthers right up to the third overall here. That way they can get their quarterback of the future. We're going to trade a first, a second, and a first next year to get up to the third overall for the Panthers. Don't get too upset about this trade. We don't really care what the value is. Those details get smoothed over later. We're just going to trade the Panthers up to the third overall. And then with the third overall pick, the Panthers are going to take CJ Stroud. This is the quarterback 2 in the class. Don't let the combine buzz confuse you. We're on the clock with the Colts. This team needs a quarterback. Let's ride the combine high with Anthony Richardson here. I've been saying for a long time that Anthony Richardson's a better prospect than Will Levis. We're going to make it happen. I'm sure teams are falling in love with this guy. He just graded out as the most athletic quarterback we have ever seen enter the draft. Let's take an upside chance here. We're on the clock with the Seahawks, and we're going to take Tyree Wilson here. These mock drafts are a little stuck here. Don't know what to do with Jalen Carter. Jury's still out as to what that situation is going to end up looking like. I don't want to get too in depth about the details of that whole situation, but we're going to let him fall a little bit more here, and we're just going to take Tyree Wilson to the Seahawks. We're on the clock with the Detroit Lions. There wasn't a cornerback that helped his stock out any more than Christian Gonzalez this weekend. He was the most athletic corner. He was so smooth. He looked amazing. He's already a pretty much spotless cornerback prospect as it is, but he just confirmed all the athleticism. He is CB1 in this class. Don't get it twisted. We're on the clock here with the Raiders. This team needs a franchise quarterback. Will Levis is going to go in the top 10. We're going to take him. I'm not a big fan of him as it is, but a team is going to take a chance on those traits, and it'll probably be the Raiders in this situation. We're on the clock with the Falcons, and this team desperately needs a pass rush. We have taken a pass rush for this team so many times. We're going to continue to do so. It sounded like the Falcons were all over Lucas Van Ness this weekend. Lucas Van Ness tested like an absolute savage. We're going to take him here in the top 10. He's going to land in Atlanta. We're on the clock here at the 9th overall with the Cards. They had traded back. This is a team that we've been taking Jalen Carter at the 3rd overall. I think it's okay to take him here. Again, we don't know the situation. We don't know how it's going to play out, but we're going to take a chance at the 9th overall and take Jalen Carter. We're on the clock with the Philadelphia Eagles. I just got that gut feeling that they're going to take a corner. James Bradbury's on his way out the door. Darius Slay's getting up in age. He can still ball though, but we're going to take Joey Porter Jr. here. He tested like a freak. His wingspan was out of this world. He's really in that top tier of the cornerbacks in this class, and I don't think you want to pass on him here at 10. The Titans are on the clock. They're going to take a tackle. We do this every damn time. They just got rid of Taylor Lewan. Regardless of who the quarterback is, they're going to need a left tackle. They don't have anyone there to fill in. We're going to take the best tackle in this class, and that is going to be Broderick Jones. We're on the clock with the Chicago Bears. They had traded back from the 1st overall. They accrued the 2nd and the 12th overall picks in this draft, as well as getting a first round in next year's draft. They took Will Anderson Jr. They're going to take Jackson Smith and Jigba here to pair him with Justin Fields, and they also got a first round in next year's draft. Talk about cashing out with that 1st overall pick. The Jets are on the clock, and they're going to take a tackle as well. Although we're hoping Mekhi Becton can be healthy this year, I think we can all bet that that's probably not happening. We're going to take a franchise left tackle here and not look back. Paris Johnson Jr. is going to go to the Jets, and they're going to solve that problem at left tackle. Now, there's a few good options here for the Patriots at 14. Peter Skoronski would be the automatic click here, but he did come in with some really, really small arms, like 32-inch arms, way too small. Now, that's not the end-all, be-all, but the Patriots have gone through that Isaiah Wynn phase. We've taken an undersized tackle with shorter arms, and it just didn't pan out. Maybe the Pats have a bad taste in their mouth. I know a lot of the Patriots fans do. So we're going to pass on Peter Skoronski here, and we're going to take a tackle that I think improved his draft stock a lot this weekend. Anton Harrison, we've been in love with him for a long time. He looked the part as a tier 1 tackle. We're going to take him here at the 14th overall. They really like going to Oklahoma, and I think Anton Harrison's a really good pick here at 14. We don't know the quarterback of the future for the Packers, and I don't think it matters. This team needs a wide receiver, and we're going to take Quentin Johnston here. He looked fantastic this weekend at the Combine. Although he didn't run the 40, he jumped a 40.5 vert and had a really good broad jump as well. He looked really clean in all of the field drills, and he looked the part as a wide receiver 1. At pick 15, I think he's worthy. The Washington Commanders is a team that needs offensive linemen all over. With the uncertainty of Peter Skoronski's role at the next level, we're going to take him here. If he wants to be a tackle, he can be a tackle. If he doesn't work out, you kick him into guard, and he's an elite guard. This is a team that needs both positions. I think Skoronski is a very good player. He's worth the 16th overall despite his short arms, and the Commanders can start to build something on that offensive line here. I was getting updates on my phone all weekend long that the Steelers were meeting with a bunch of corners. It's clear that they're in the cornerback market, especially in this draft. Devin Witherspoon's a borderline top 10 talent in this draft. I really like him to New England, but I like him even better here at a value for the Steelers at pick 17. Brian Brzee answered a ton of questions this weekend. His athleticism really popped off during the Combine. He really proved that he was worthy of being that tier 1 of the defensive tackles in this class. I say tier 1 because Jalen Carter's like in his own tier, like S tier. But Brian Brezee's a very good prospect. I expect him to be a better pro, but the Lions are going to take him here at the 18th overall. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are a team that needs so many different positions. They're on a multi-year rebuild here. They don't really have their quarterback figured out. They don't have any positions figured out really. They're so against the cap wall right now as well. This team just needs really good players on their roster, and I think we're going to just take the wrong pick here, and we're going to do it anyway. Bijan Robinson's going to go to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This guy showed up and showed out all weekend long. He ran way faster than expected. A big body, really good RAS score. He ran a 4.46. He's probably a top 10 talent in this entire class. We're going to get Bijan on the roster a year before they look into like Caleb Williams, Drake May. This team just needs to accrue good players, and there's no better way to do it than with someone who's so elite and can carry an offense like Bijan Robinson. We're going to continue to build up that defensive line for the Seattle Seahawks. We just took Tyree Wilson with the 5th overall. We're going to take Kalijah Cansey here at the 20th. He tested his way right into the first round. He has excellent tape, really good college production, and he just tested as one of the best D-tackle prospects ever. I'm excited for his upside. I think 20 is a fair pick for the Seattle Seahawks here. It sounds like the Chargers are making it work with Keenan Allen. We're going to pass on wide receiver here, and we're going to take a cornerback. J.C. Jackson is obviously super banged up. Even when he was healthy and on the field, he didn't look the same. We're going to take a corner that played himself right into the first round. That's Deonte Banks from Maryland. I'm a big fan of this guy. He's going to get drafted right around that Kyer Elam range last year. I really like the player, and I think the Chargers need that. Next on the clock, we get the Ravens. This team needs wide receivers, but I'm going to be honest with you. We had some serious letdowns this weekend at wide receiver. I think there's probably going to be only like 3, maybe 4 wide receivers taken in the first round this year. I don't think there's a chance that Nolan Smith makes it past the Ravens, so we're going to take him here. He tested out of this world, put up a 4.39 in the 40. I don't really know what kind of role he'll play at the next level, but this is an athlete that you want on your roster. I want to take cornerback here for the Vikings, but I don't really like the value of any of these guys. Emmanuel Forbes came in super small. Cam Smith had some attitude problems during the Combine. It was kind of weird. He didn't like a lot of his interviews. He is a good player, but probably early day 2. Tyreek Stevenson's interesting. I think Julius Brents might be worth this pick, but we're going to take Miles Murphy here. This isn't the biggest position of need for the Vikings, but when value's staring at you in the face, you got to just take it sometimes. It wouldn't surprise me to see him go in this kind of range. I think his tape is a little bit lame. We've been down on him lately, and I feel like the draft community is as well. We've been pretty consistent with taking a cornerback here for the Jaguars. Again, I don't love the value of any of the players right now. We're going to take a tackle for the Jags. You finally found your franchise quarterback. Let's protect him a little bit here. We can address cornerback at another time. We love Darnell Wright. He's probably going to be a day 1 pick. Let's put him on the offensive line to protect Trevor Lawrence. We're on the clock with the Giants. We're going to take probably the last wide receiver that goes in the first round. That's going to be Zay Flowers from Boston College. I don't need to explain this one. The team has a depleted wide receiver room. If Daniel Jones is the guy, let's get him some weapons. It sounds like Leighton Vander Esch is on his way out the door. The Cowboys have kind of had this revolving door at linebacker. Jack Campbell Really good prospect at the linebacker position. He tested like a maniac. He was one of those big risers over the weekend. I think we get better at linebacker here. I don't know if Jordan Addison's going to fall out of the first round now. He tested really poorly at the combine. If there's any chance that he goes in the first round, it'll probably be like the Bills, maybe the Chiefs. We're going to take him here to the Bills. So let's take a wide receiver and get Josh Allen his wide receiver too. DeJuan Jones looked very good this weekend. He came in at 6'8", 374 pounds. We're going to protect Joe Burrow. He's had a problem on the offensive line since he got drafted. We're investing in Joe Burrow here. The Saints just got their franchise quarterback in Derek Carr. With Dennis Allen as the coach, he has a background in defensive coordination, defensive line coach, all of that. He's really familiar with the defense. We're going to take Adetomiwa Adebaware. I know that's hard to pronounce. I just tried like 7 times, but he does go by Tommy. So I guess it would be Tommy Adebaware. Anyways, this guy went and ran a 4.49 at 282 pounds. He has some really good tape. He was already a borderline day 1 prospect, but he went and just blew up the combine. He's on everyone's radar now. I got a feeling he's going to end up being a first round pick. And if you're a defensive mind like Dennis Allen is, I think you're looking at this guy and you're thinking potential. We're on the clock with the Eagles, and this is a team that has TJ Edwards as well as Kaiser White. I don't know if they're going to pay both those linebackers. I'm hopeful for Nakobe Dean, but we're still going to get some fresh blood in there. Trenton Simpson tested like a freak this weekend. He was a day 1 prospect all day regardless. This is a pick that keeps teams like these competing for a long time. We're on the clock with the Kansas City Chiefs. They just released Frank Clark today. We're going to replace that position with Will McDonald. This is a player that I've absolutely loved throughout this draft process. He had himself an explosive weekend. Although he is a little undersized, I think he's going to be a really good weak side linebacker. He really has such a relentless motor. He can chase after plays. He can get after the quarterback. I think George Karlaftis has a good future ahead of him, but we're still going to improve that edge rush. I think Will McDonald's a day 1 prospect, and if not, early day 2. Evidently, we're stuck here at a spinning wheel. PFF is not working with me today. I'd love to be able to go over the picks with you guys again, but PFF has different plans. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the mock draft. We did a lot of different things. We kind of took the combine results and just exaggerated some of the things that happened. I don't know if every single player we drafted is going to go in the first round. It's hard to predict all these things, but it's really fun to get excited about these combine stars. We like to keep it fresh. We don't like to keep taking the same players over and over again to the same teams. So hopefully I drafted you guys every player you wanted for your team. And if not, I'll catch you in the next one.